Here we go.
Hey everybody, this is Robert. I got myself my little winter bug here. Not endorsed by Neighbor Busters, but yeah, thank you so much. And yeah, we're just chilling here. It's a nice, beautiful day out there, whichever time zone or location you're in, and you don't want to hear the weather. You just want to hear me get right to the our special guest here, our returning guest in the corner. This is Scott Burns. Thank you so much for
Hey
joining me
there.
once again. Yeah.
I want to hear about the weather, and then we'll go with sports, and then we'll check traffic. How does that sound?
Yeah, it sounds fine. Well, it's a beautiful day here in LA and I guess Vegas.
Las
Right?
Vegas, yeah, probably a little bit more tepid than you have, but yeah.
Yeah, yeah, because what I'm seeing right now here in Vegas is we're dealing with scorching, if I'm not mistaken, not 100-degree weather over here. Like
Oh,
out in
that's
Vegas, and then over here in LA, it's like 70, 80 something.
so even the people who are stealing hubcaps are wearing pot holders. That's how hot it is. Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
anybody steals hubcaps anymore, but it's an old
Oh yeah,
joke, and
for
it'll
sure.
for the weather. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure. But yeah,
yeah.
sports seems to be going pretty well. Let me see. Anything else? We'll get
Let's
there
see
when
how
we
this.
get. I don't know. We're
Yeah,
kind of like where are we right now in the world?
yeah. Well, we're just 3 hours and something away from each other. It feels like we're just next door, and in the same
Yeah,
room,
three.
actually.
Yeah, 3, 4. Yeah, but regardless, thank you so much. Like it's been quite some time since we last spoke. I think it was we were just kind of talking about it. I think it was 2 years ago that we last
It
spoke.
feels like that. Yeah, two or I'm going. I'll go with two because
Yeah,
three
let's just go
was.
with two because
All right.
my
Yeah,
memory, man.
I know, but it feels like it was just yesterday. So what were we talking about?
Just
But
Mario, something, something stuff.
Mario, yeah, Mario's and Bowser's and all that kind of fun stuff. So it's been a good 2 years plus 3 years actually, and it'll be 3 years come June 30th that uh, I moved to Las Vegas. As a matter of fact,
Yeah,
and
congrats. I actually didn't
there's
know
this.
that.
Oh yeah, so Seattle was originally the home there for many years, and then my wife and I just packed. We got tired of the June gloom and the rain, and hightailed it on down to the sunshine and the desert. And coincidentally, I don't know if this is if you do this, but when we pulled up into the driveway, we were pulling we had the movers, but we had our main stuff in a U-Haul, and a long trip from Seattle to Las Vegas via Twin Falls and Boise, all that route. But beautiful traveling through the state of Nevada. But it was a long trip, and we pulled in to the driveway, and I happened to look at the clock on my watch, and it was 6:30 on June 30th. How coincidentally weird is that? So that's I've been able to remember it ever since that it was 6:30 on 6:30 that we pulled into the driveway.
Yeah, man, that is
Just
just unbelievable.
fun little stories there, but love it ever since. And yeah, Las Vegas is a novelty town. It's got all the glitter. If you want to go see Donny Osmond on a Tuesday night, and who wouldn't? You don't have to book a flight and a hotel. You can just hop in the car and head on down to the Strip. So it has all this entertainment of the capital for sure vibe about it, where there's just always something going on. And if you have the money, well, go in and take part of it. you know.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty good advice, just taking it one day at a time and yeah, the next time be wise with what you spend on when you're out in Vegas. Well,
Yes. Oh
just
yeah,
anywhere in general, but especially
that's
Vegas.
true. Well, they do know that if you bring money, they will welcome you down there, and you may not leave with it, but at least you'll have a good time trying. So, what's news
Yeah.
with you, Robert? What's going on with you?
Yeah, me, I've just been continuing to do this podcast, and I think I also talked with you about a couple of stuff that I'm cooking up. So, yeah,
Yeah,
just
yeah,
doing a little bit of casting, a little bit of this and that, just all over the place.
yeah.
So it's been a lot of fun, just not really complaining, but I'm just really glad that, I'm just staying consistently just productive, busy, and just doing my thing. Just
They,
podcasting, content, auditions, voice acting. So I don't really, I barely. rest during the day
You
and
know,
night
but
for that
it
matter.
doesn't feel like work though, does it?
I
When you're
mean, there's the old saying, like, if you're working when you do something you love, you never work a day in your life, which is sort of true, but at
yeah,
the end of the day, it's like we still gotta we gotta be consistent with what we're doing on a day-to-day basis, you know?
yeah. As long as you're
It's about
having
showing
fun.
up. Yeah,
Yeah, that's about it. And for me, it's kind of like the days just kind of meander through. Like today seems, I know it's Friday when doing this here, but sometimes it feels like Sunday, and other days feel like I could swear it's Tuesday. I mean, it's if you're doing what you love and you have a lot of things going on, and don't have the regular 9 to 5 kind of thing, it's kind of easy to get lost in the week, but it's also easy to get lost in the week as well too. So it's all works out. The land of voiceover. That's what that is.
exactly. So for you, what is something that has been, because I'm also kind of curious because since it's kind of been quite some time since we last spoke, so let's do a little bit of catch up. What's something that, well, as of this, well, not just for this year, but just as of recent, like say, from last year to now, what, tell us a little bit about what you've been kind of working on and what projects are you kind
Okay.
of picking up and what's been
Uh,
going on in your neck, in your side of town. Let's hear it.
my neck is it's this Adam's apple that's going on. Well, actually, a lot, and it's voiceover related, and it's one of these wonderful side benefits. And I'm so grateful, and I pinch myself till I'm blue in the arms of how I managed to weave myself into these conventions, the Comic Con
Oh
events.
yeah.
Peter Bowser, and that started. It's been a slow process because there's currently a Kenny James. Kenny James is doing Bowser now, and so. Uh,
Yeah.
but I was the original Bowser, the original speaking Bowser anyway, the one that the Sunshine Mario or the Sunshine game, and I did other voice in that too. But I was late to get onto the into the Comic Con circuit because I didn't know how you got into that. So I have a regular agent for voiceover, and he wasn't involved in that. So I said, well, okay, that's a thing that other people do. Until I coincidentally, another coincidence, happened to meet a guy who had done. He's a videographer, and he took all the video of the Twisted Tunes. The big panel
Yeah.
where they have all the
Oh
celebrities.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So he came to my then day job, helping our video guy, and we got talking about audio and voiceover and all that. And he goes, "How come you're not doing these cons?" And I said, I don't know." And he goes, "Well, I happen to know the guy who is a representative for them, and I'll hook you up." So he hooked me up, and boom, I landed a convention, and it just so happened to be the same month that COVID struck the world. And this is the Midwest Gaming Classic, and it was in March of 2020. And it's like, we're really not going to do this, are we? I don't really know if I want to go and shake people's hands and with the and do all the masking and all that kind of stuff. I wasn't opposed to the masking, but it was like, there's going to be a lot of people that I'm encountering. So anyway, they did cancel it, and we did it again the following year, fully masked. But by then things had calmed down. Anyway, so I waited another couple of months, and then I got landed a convention in the Netherlands. And I was like, "Where's the Netherlands? I'm going." Yeah, I don't know. Oh, it's Amsterdam. Oh, how fun! So that was my first international event, and that was wonderful. And stayed afterwards and saw Amsterdam. And then subsequently, I've done the Washington State Summer Con in Puyallup. That's close to my old stomping grounds there in Seattle, and Fanboy in Knoxville. So I'm hoping to get more as time progresses, because the reason I brought up Kenny was that a lot of he's been doing this for a number of years, and the conventions are, oh yeah, well, we have Bowser, so yeah, but you don't have me. So anyway, gradually getting the word out there that the OG, the original OG Bowser is available for these conventions. But it's been great. The response has been fantastic. I love doing the panels, meeting people, shaking hands, shaking babies. No, that's the other way around. Kissing, yeah, whatever. And seeing some celebrities on my own. I mean, it's like, wow, I gotta to work alongside Charles Martinet, Mario himself, and that was a blast. And I've seen John Cleese walking by. you know, it's it's surreal, is what it is. Uh, so that's just been a side benefit of things going on. Also, I have been involved in Cameo, uh, which combines my love of hamming it up and video. So I get it. I've been doing a lot of Cameo, calls for people if that's of any interest. Wishing happy birthday, uh, offering advice. It goes beyond happy birthday and congratulations on your wedding kind of thing. There's a lot of people just kind of want to know different or just have different things they want said. So I do my best to accommodate that. I love producing. I don't just put the selfie up there and shoot that. I like to kind of give them stuff. Um, and so those have been nice. And then there's been a general voiceover too. The most recent one and one that I'm working on today. I'll even see if I can hold my. This is a. I use a little tab here or stick them up thing. It's very high tech here. These are some lines for Lionel Train. Uh, I'm a conductor on the expensive train set. If you get one of the big layouts, and it has all the sound effects and all the train whistles and stuff, and I voice the role of the conductor on all aboard, all that kind of stuff. So when the train goes along a section of the track, it'll trigger something that will ignite the audio track pertaining to that scene where the car is. So I'm the conductor on a whole wide of assortment of the Bluebird Express, the 20th Century Limited, all these different train lines, and they all have their own specific now leaving, now departing. Thank you. And then he does some exit lines too, like thank you for taking the Limited Express. Oh, thank you. All these little incidental conversational audio drops that you might hear a conductor if you were actually on a train. I get to do that. So that's been a novel use of my vocal cords. So yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Going back to the convention thing, because I just did a few this year, that's something else that I forgot to mention. So I actually did meet Charles Martinet at a Collecticon. I think it was like
Okay.
sometime back in March. But yeah, really great guy. I just absolutely loved getting to meet him. And I think some of you might probably see it on my social media pages and stuff. It probably must have got buried in there. But yeah, then I saw a couple of other folks okay. So far, the ones that I would say that I was the most excited to meet or proud of was Jim Cummings, Tom Kenny, Lori Allen, who else? Who else? Who else? Charlie Adler, and just so many other people that I literally grew up listening to. Like these are folks that have been on Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Disney, Warner Brothers. And so
Right.
just getting to meet a lot of these people and kind of getting to work with a couple of them is also kind of crazy to me. Like sometimes in the business, you just don't know. You just never know. Like
You don't.
yeah,
It's
like who
it's
you end
weird.
up
Yeah.
running into. Yeah.
Yeah, and for me too. I mean, I was had the pleasure of one meeting D. Bradley Baker at the Seattle Emerald
Yeah.
City Comic Con,
Oh yeah, I
and
saw D. I don't think because it was a really busy day and I just didn't get to say hi to him. But no, continue.
well, here's my D. Bradley Baker story.
Sure
In
thing.
that
Go.
I was invited to do one of the Twisted Tunes, which was great, and I wasn't scheduled to be there. Somebody else couldn't make it, so Jeff Zanini said, "Hey, can you step in?" And I said, "Yes." So backstage, they have a little green room kind of thing, where it's where people they can decompress, and do you call him D or D Brad? Anyway, he was at the table, but it looked like he was dozing off, and I thought, well, I don't blame him. These things can just wear you out. So at the where was it? Was it SummerCon? Yes, he was there, and we were riding back on the van or the little van, and I got to sit next to him, and we had this long ride together, and it's like, man, I finally get a chance just to hang with you, and you can't escape. So I brought up the story of the Emerald City Comic Con where I said, I thought, I don't blame you, but I think I caught you sleeping. He goes, no, actually, I was meditating. And I thought, oh, so we had this wonderful talk, and I mean, he's talking about the power of meditation, and I'm converted. I have done it that much. I thought about it, but it's the things you not only do you get to meet somebody, but to have that just that interaction and wow, well, that's my golden egg takeaway is getting some advice, from D. Bradley Baker. I'm sure you've seen his website. So you want to be a voice actor, or I
I
want to be a
mean,
voice.
yeah, that's something
And
I kind of quote often.
oh,
Yeah,
I can't effuse enough how awesome it is, and how he's just and he's always updating it. I mean, it's not like this one and done. I did it for free and put it up there. He's constantly refreshing it. It's amazing. What a gift that is. What a gift he is. And I didn't ask him to do any monster noises or any animal noises. I can get that off his website.
yeah. I mean, I always just say D. Bradley Baker's website is kind of like the go-to resource when it comes to voice acting. And just if you want to get your start, I mean, it's just there for, I mean, the man really knows what he's talking about. And on the subject of meditation, I I don't know if he talked about it when he did an interview with, I don't know if you watch Voice Acting Mastery with Crispin Freeman, but he kind of
I,
talks a lot. Like they go into episodes talking about philosophy, psychology, and a lot of different topics that is just outside of like, oh, so how did you get into voice acting? Just the same old, same old. But I just kind of like watching, hearing interviews with folks that have very, very unique like stories about how they got started and how they approach, just life in general. It's not just with acting. It's just applicable to many different areas. Like if you're going into another career industry, show business, just hearing a lot of these people talk about how this something that really helped them, it helps them still to this very day, and they apply it to their everyday life. It's like, if it helps you just gain a more positive like outlook on, what's happening around you, then hey, like all the more. Like I very much appreciate that so much. So I just
yeah.
really think that that was such a great, great interview, and also another great podcast that y'all should totally check out with Chris Freeman. So
Yeah,
just plugging it out there.
I'm well aware of it. And you're right. Everybody has a different door coming into voiceover. Uh, it's not just well because everybody. How can I break into voiceover? Well, you got a crowbar and you wear a mask. Everybody has their own. I came from the radio side of broadcasting, but I never had an acting class, but I did take improv. There's um, and some people just everybody's told them, "Oh, you have such a great voice" or whatever. But everybody has all their brings their the more life experiences you can bring to the table, the better. And it is nice and refreshing to hear that it's not just I'm just a voice actor. Well, there's got to be more substance to it than that because for acting you need to draw on your past experiences too. So that's what you're everybody's experiencing their own experiences. So it's it's nice that you can tap into that and get these little stories. The people are human, and it's nice to hear that our idols, the people that we go, wow, I wish I could be you. Uh, they have their people that they wish they could be for, and that of course brings that the imposter syndrome or I'm never going to be anybody because look how successful these people are. But everybody has gone had their share of downs, and I was grateful to hear. I won't bring up his name, but he's a high profile voice actor, and he shared once that he does a lot of auditions throughout the year, and it's a very impressive amount. I want to say 4,000. It might that doesn't sound out of the question. 4,000. I mean, it sounds like a lot, but it's like if you tap into each month, uh, and he said last year he booked four of them. He only booked four, and I was like equally sad to hear that, but equally relieved. I mean, the fact that he would share that and it's like, oh, good, we're not. I'm not alone. Nobody else is. It's not just all you see are people's successes. Same for when you see a commercial, you hear a commercial. Wow, that guy's got such a, gal's got such a great read. Man, I can never get that. They make mistakes. There's editing. I've heard outtake reels of people who, famous, like, well, I think there's a William Shatner outtake reel from Mark Grau's studios of people, of well-known people that just get tongue-tied and screw up and all this other stuff. But the final product, thank you, audio engineers, they can craft your career, and put it all together. So what we're hearing is this: oh my gosh, that's great! I'll never get there. But no, you're only hearing the final edited product, and everybody can do that. You just need a good razor blade, and that's for a digital audio workstation. I don't know where I'm going with that. It all starts with people coming in from different doors and bringing their life experiences and bringing that to the table. Oh, I can't hear you now. Did I lose? I'm not hearing you, Robert.
Oh, I'm
Uh,
still here.
oh,
Hello?
oh, good. I got you. I got you. The rest of this podcast will be in mime.
Yeah. So, hey, what was I gonna say? Oh my God. But
We're
anyways,
talking.
I was just also saying that like, oh yeah, outtakes. And I'm so glad that you brought up Mark Grau because let me see. I think he was another one that I actually had on the show, and I think when we last spoke, which was like close to 2020, 21. Yeah, I know time just goes by so fast. But um, he was also talking about just a lot of different, like so many different stories and just meeting all these people that have worked, at the studio. And it just really goes to show that, like, you can be, I think it's also something that's very important to know is like, when you really get to work with some of the, I guess, the cream of the crop of the business, and you learn that there are people just like you, like, hey,
That's
fine. That's great.
that's
Yeah,
kind of
like you just
scary.
sharing
Yeah.
Deep Bradley Baker, and it's like, you guys talked about not medication, meditation, and
Maybe
it's
that
like, oh
too.
yeah, maybe so, maybe that as
It
well.
is.
But yeah,
It
it's
is.
like there are people as well. Yeah.
It's a real rewarding experience. Just I've always wanted to meet Tom Hanks because he to me is
Oh,
the
I
epitome of just
think
everybody's
everybody
everyman.
would want to meet him.
Yeah.
Everybody would want to
Uh,
meet him.
I've always said too, that old question: if you could have dinner with one famous person in history or whatever, who would it be? Well, I would go for two, and one would be Abraham Lincoln, and the second would be Tom Hanks. And then I find out years not that long ago that Tom Hanks and Abraham Lincoln are distantly related from the Hanks side of the family. That Mary Todd Lincoln, or there was a Hanks someplace in the, so there's a connection. I thought, well, that makes sense, so they have a combo. So anyway, yeah, it is great to have a commonality with people and just know, and that it's a sigh of relief when it's like, oh, okay. Uh, there's the other thing too of having, they say never meet your idols, because what you picture them, and if that person's celebrity, whatever, turns around and is nasty to you, or whatever, then that can really sully your whole thing. So be careful in who you elevate to that idol status. But uh, I had the unique pleasure when I was growing up on a farm in eastern Washington. There was a radio station in Spokane, and there was a morning disc jockey, and he went by the name of Charlie Brown. Charlie Brown was whatever, and I was just enamored with him, and I found myself imitating him and copying him. Doing I basically was doing the Charlie Brown show when I got into my career. And I even had a program director say, Seattle already has a Charlie Brown. And I know that. So, you need to find your own thing. Well, years later, as fate would have it, I ended up replacing Charlie Brown in Seattle when he retired from that. Uh, so yeah, right place, right time, manifest or whatever it was. But here I am now replacing the guy that I idolized. And and then and then later, as radio happens, people come and go, and then you get let go. Uh, Charlie invited me to come work with him on his show at another radio station, and I became part of the team there, and I was his producer. And having known him, listened to him, and it was like a sixth sense, or a kind of a surreal thing, because not like a mind telepathy thing, but I knew what, after having listened to him and experienced, his rhythms and all that other stuff, I knew, for instance, if he was talking about dogs, or if there was an article in the paper or something he was talking about dogs or something, I instinctively went to this. It was a cart. It was a pre-recorded cartridge of a dog barking. And I would load that into the machine, and then I would just point to it and say, if you need it, if you want to have a little punchline to the joke or whatever. Uh, and that was kind of the synergy that just made the show flow, and it was great uh, working with him. But he was a human being too. He had moods, and it was like, well, that he's in a bad mood. I never pictured him having a bad mood. He could have great moods, but sometimes he could have really bad moods, and that was kind of an awkward situation. So again, be careful who you idolize, kind of stuff. But I'm still grateful for that opportunity to see my life kind of meld with my past with my future and my present. I don't know where I'm going with that.
Honestly, I think it's kind of like a pretty good way of like, I guess, bookending or just closing out this brief little chat. I let me see. If there's anything that you want to close out with, like any final words, last piece of advice,
Mm.
just anything to close us out on.
Oh, for me to say, come up with it. Oh, I didn't know there would be math involved. If it
No,
if it
no, like if
wasn't,
you have like any like I don't know advice that you want to share to
oh
those.
man, man, um, love yourself, be good to yourself, and you be good. Take care of yourself first, and then you can take care of others. That's a parent thing, I guess. Um, man, I don't have a quote on me. Um, there's an old proverb: "As the coyote howls in the wind, so shall the lips of a chicken pucker." But that makes no sense. So that don't use that proverb. I don't know. Robert, I'm sorry I'm coming up empty. Oh, here it is. Always be prepared for a Robert Jackson podcast. Because I ain't.
Let's go with that. So yeah,
Oh, no.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, but this was so fun getting to chat with you once again. If you have any like socials or yeah, just anything upcoming stuff that we want to watch out for in the future, just go ahead. It's all yours, my man.
Good, good, good. Thank you. Yeah. Hey, now were you the? Forgive me if I'm obtuse here. This is not part of the podcast, is it? Were you the one who reached out to me about on LinkedIn about getting voice talent for a project?
It
No.
might have
Okay.
been me, or yeah, I think it probably. I don't know how many you get on LinkedIn
I,
requesting, but
it,
yeah,
it was kind of weird.
I
No,
know I must have been one of the. I might have been some one of the
no,
ones that
because
was.
I panicked here and I thought it's been a while since I've conversed with this person, because it was basically I wasn't able to supply him with any. He wanted like uh, I think it was for an audiobook podcasting kind of thing that he was looking for. He wanted access to female talent and male talent and all this other stuff. And I thought, well, now you're asking me to become an agent, to to manage the project here, because that would be a lot of work on my part, to. And said, what does this pay? They, before they're going to want to know if they want to participate in it or not, and what are the terms and stuff. And he never got that for me. But I knew it wasn't. I mean, I would recognize your name, but with the top of the hour here, when you said something we worked on projects, I was like, oh no, that wasn't you, was it? But it wasn't. I
Yeah, I
I
don't know.
don't know.
I don't think that was me. Like audiobook, that
No.
probably wasn't me. No.
Yeah. I got an offer for an audiobook here through my website from some company, and I'm really leery, because then
Oh
they
yeah, yeah.
you know, it's like I don't do them because they're monster. They said then terms 5 to 7 days after a start, and it was like, oh my gosh, no, you can't do an audiobook in 5 to 7
And you
days.
don't
You
even
just
know, and you just don't know if they're gonna clone it for AI.
yes. That's a good point too. The
Yeah.
whole, yeah, that and
Uh,
getting scammed in general. There's a lot of scams out there.
Trust me, happened to me once. Not fine, but
Yeah,
yeah.
I, me, talk about shared experiences. I almost got scammed. This is for a video editing job on LinkedIn that, and it had me because I was urgently looking for employment. And they were using that power of urgency to we needed to do this, we needed to get this in, our HR needs this, and I was scrambling to do this. And what it would have been had I not seen all the red flags fully raised was I would have had to pay for the truck delivering all this gear. They were going to they were going to send me office equipment and all this other stuff to my post office box, which is like, how's that going to work? You know, uh, but I caught it. My wife she was skeptical from the get go, but we caught it in that they wanted me to. I would have to pay the truck, send them a cashier's check, some weird thing like that. And it was like, no, 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 no. So yeah, but they're getting very sophisticated with their you have websites, and these people basically cloned an ad agency in Toronto, Canada, because I did find the Cicada agency or whatever, and it looked legit, but they fish you in, hook you, and get you going. So I'm sorry. Did you get taken, or did you catch it in time?
So I finished. Let me see. 'Cause if I recall, I finished the recording, and then when it came down to the payment process, they started acting funny,
Ah,
and I just did like 100 pages worth of stuff, and they were just, yeah, yeah. They started asking like, "What's your paying?" Yeah, you need to
oh yeah.
transfer, yeah, that type of thing, that type of stunt they pulled at the last second. So I was
It's easy
still
to get.
not really happy about that.
Yeah, they're very good at it,
Yeah,
and
and
it's easy to.
and of course, before I could file a dispute, they just
Yeah.
vanish.
Was this
So
on?
I'm
Was
like,
this on? Was this on a pay to play site or Voices, or do
no,
you
no.
remember?
I
Oh,
think it was just, it was from some type of website, and they made me sign. Well, I mean, I remember it was a contract. I had to sign it, and I mean, it seemed legit at the time. But then, like, as soon as I completed my assignment. That's when all the red flags and sketchiness really started. You know,
yeah.
just so many red bells, red alarms just started going off in my mind. So that's what I do right then and there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Man, yeah, I'm
Well,
sure it's a good thing that I didn't lose money because, yeah.
I know it. Or have them get your account,
Oh yeah,
your, you know.
that. So at least I'm grateful about that. At least, so that's
Oh,
something that you got to watch out for, y'all. Just be aware of scams. So that's my other advice that I got for today's episode. Just don't don't fall for scams like that. Don't be
yeah.
like us, okay? Yeah,
Don't let the
just
a
bottom
holes
line.
bring you down.
Yeah, just bottom line.
Wow. Yeah. Well, listen, this was fun. This was fun. Let me. Yeah, we can do one sooner than 2 or 3 years from now for sure.
Yeah, who knows in the future? So
Yeah.
yeah, I oh yeah, I think I've asked like social media, like anything that you got cooking up, stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you got anything going on at your end, like that you want to at least talk about at the
I
moment that you
haven't.
can
I've
talk about.
got
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah. Well, they're all laden with NDAs anymore, but it's been consistently good, quiet. You know, um, I'm trying to think what there was a thing for Lucid Motors. Um, God, it's been a while, but Lionel Trains, and I've got this isn't very exciting, but there's a thoroughbred racehorse farm for the breeding farm in Oklahoma, someplace, and I do the announcements. It must be on the local cable chain or something like that. You know, Widowmaker stands for 14 furlongs high and has been a 3-time sired champion of the. It's just kind of describing the horse, and basically, if you want to buy the horse, it's just the descriptions for that. So you take what you can get.
Yeah,
It's all good.
exactly.
You know?
Yep, that's pretty
But
much my piece of advice. Yep.
yeah, take it, take it, don't break
Exactamundo. And I guess those are kind of the closing words that we'll use for the show.
it.
Yeah, thank you so
Well,
much. Thank you for, oh, sorry.
oh no, no, yeah, you're welcome, and thank you for having me on, and yeah, send me a link to the show again, and I might grab some audio from it and for myself and post that. So if that's
Sure.
okay, yeah,
Yeah. At least I know it's not like an AI cloning type of
yeah,
nonsense.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
just promotion purposes. So that's all good with me. And on that note, thank you so much for watching. Stick around next time at Station Square with Robert Jackson and Scott Burns. And until next
All
time,
right.
stay safe, stay happy, live long and prosper. God bless each and every one of y'all. Bye bye.